All right, guys, today we got a little different one. It's about diag. We're not going to diag a vehicle, but we're going to talk to you about how to deal with clients that come in with these reports. So let's get into it. So what do we do when a client comes in and they've got one of these readouts from the parts store and it says, this is what's wrong with the car. Now we know what happened. They went into the parts store, parts store scanned it, right? Came up with the code, and now they got the new, I guess, AI or whatever they've got going on here with these things that says, you know, what it needs, okay? Or the most likely cause, because it's not going to say what it needs, it's going to say the most likely cause. We've had people that have come in and go, well, I put this on, I put that on, you know, it said to put this on. And those are the easy ones, because they come in and they say, well, I've already replaced that part, it didn't fix it. Well, you know, you're going to be able to you know, explain to them why you need to diagnose it and why there's going to be a charge involved in that. But what about the ones where they come in, they haven't had anything done on it yet? They just went there and they got the scan and they think this is going to fix it. Because clients don't know. I mean, don't think that these people are trying to get over on you or trying to get something for nothing. A lot of people just don't know. So they go to these parts stores because, you know, they advertise it and, you know, that's what they see. So how do we explain to them that we get what's happening here, we understand why they did that, but we're going to charge them to tell them what's wrong with it. And why are we going to do that? Well, we need to go in detail with them and give them the value of what we're going to provide to them. And what we're going to provide to them is a detailed report on what we did and the findings that we came up with, the tests that we did, pictures. We love scope pictures, scan pictures, data pictures of everything, right? And then we can go to them and go, this is going to fix the car, right? It's not a guess. It's not suggested, right? As we see here, it's not suggested. It's what's going to fix the car. And there's value in that. Don't give that away, okay? There is value in that. There's not value in pulling the code and saying, oh, well, you know, it needs that, and then if I can't guarantee anything though. There's no value in that, so you can't charge for that. That's what this is. So the solution to this in this particular case is we're going to tell them we're going to charge them to diagnose it. If you don't like to use the word diagnose it, inspect it. You know, inspection and testing and you know, whatever you want to say there. But we're going to, and then tell them we're going to give you a detailed report on what we find and what the solution is going to be. Most people totally understand that, and they're going to go with it. Now, here's where it gets more difficult. What happens if you get to the end and it's the intake manifold gasket, right? That's not in this case, and we're going to actually show you this car. But what happens if it is the intake manifold gasket? Then the client's going to say, well, I knew that from the report. Well, this was a guess, right? And if they put the intake manifold gasket on the car, they bought the intake manifold gasket from the parts store, they installed it on the car, and it's installed properly, and it doesn't fix it. Is the parts store going to pay them to pay you to take the gasket back out and put another gasket in it? They're going to reimburse them any money for that? No, none whatsoever, okay? So the value with us is, in this particular case, is that was a guess, okay? We're telling you, and this needs to be told up front. Don't wait until it ends up being this. Make sure you're up front with them. Listen, if it ends up being the intake manifold gasket, I get it. You know, you're going to say, well, you knew that for free, but right now you're guessing at that. And we're going to tell you, you know, what the actual, you know, yeah, the actual cause, and give you the peace of mind that this is going to take care of it. And then we're going to stand behind the answer also. When somebody pays you for diagnostics, it's just like they handed you money for a set of spark plugs. If you put a set of spark plugs in it, you're going to give a guarantee for that set of spark plugs, right? You're going to guarantee they're installed properly. You're going to guarantee that the parts are good because you made money on the parts, you made money on the labor, that the full job is guaranteed. It's the same thing with diagnostics. If you do it right, you spend the time to actually diagnose it, you charge them for the diagnosis, then there should be value in that. You've given them something. It's not a physical thing, but it is information, and that information is valuable. It's worth money. You go to a doctor and you say your elbow hurts, and he does all kind of testing on the elbow, and he tells you what's wrong with your elbow. He doesn't do that for free because you didn't get something, right? He's going to still fix the elbow. There's still going to have to be a charge for that, but you're paying him for the knowledge of that, right? So we have to be sure that we are first explaining that value to the client, okay, ahead of time, and then sticking by it when it comes down to it, and there's going to be questions, and you just have to, you know, be nice and hold your ground and go, I totally understand. You know, you were told this guess happened, and then it happens to be that, but it just happens to be that. It's not that this was 100%. It just happened to be right in that case. In this case, it's wrong, right? So then what happens? So here's the other way to think about it. If you called an electrician or a plumber to your house, and they came in and you had a problem with something, they came in and they checked your plumbing or they checked your circuitry, and they came up with an answer, and they said it's this. You paid them for that information. And then you said, well, you know, what if I don't know, right? Maybe they didn't give a good vibe, and you wanted a second opinion. You call another plumber or another electrician in. That second person is not doing it for free. They're going to come in, they're going to go in there, they're going to do all the testing and all their whatever they have to do, and even if they come up with the same answer as the first one, you're still paying the second one to tell you what was wrong with it. Well, that's the same thing here. The only difference is this one was free, which is exactly what it's worth, okay? And yours is professionally diagnosed with an answer. So let's real quick take a look at this one. This one's got codes in it for fuel trim, okay, and post catalyst, fuel trim again, circuit low, stuck lean. So this is all O2 sensor codes. It's a 2012 Buick Enclave, right? So we get in the car, come right over here and take a look. This person just bought this vehicle. After they bought the vehicle, the check engine light came on. Okay, so right there, all bets are off. We're not going to guarantee one thing to fix this car because this client does not have any history of this vehicle. It would be different if this client owned this vehicle for the last 5 years and the check engine light came on yesterday and they brought it into us. One thing's wrong with that. We're going to guarantee that to fix it once we determine what's wrong with it. In this particular case, he just bought this vehicle. I don't know what else is going to be wrong with this vehicle once we get this fixed, right? It could then test the catalytic converter, and the catalytic converter could fail. I don't know. So we're going to take it step by step. We're going to inform them. But if you look right here, I don't think an intake manifold gasket is going to fix this. Somebody's done some popcorn welding on this manifold or on this pipe, and this is right below the cat, and the O2 sensor is right there. So this needs to get fixed. This is an exhaust leak that's close to an O2 sensor. That's 100% going to cause codes, O2 sensor codes, lean codes. I mean, it's going to cause all kinds of stuff. That oxygen sensor clearly cannot function properly with outside air going across it. So in this particular case, it's actually good news. This is going to be way less expensive for us to actually fix this weld than it would be to put an intake manifold gasket on this vehicle. No parts are needed. This person's going to be happy. And hopefully this will take care of all his problems. But basically what this video is about is you see all our videos, how we do all this diagnosis, and I understand that stuff's cool and I love doing it. We all love doing it here and it's interesting, but we charge people for doing that. None of that's free. None of that stuff you're seeing is done for free. And depending on the level of how difficult we have to get into it, there's more charge for some things than there is for other things. So you guys just have to understand, how do you get that to the client? How do you get them to understand that? And that comes ahead of time. It doesn't come after you've got the answer. You have to set that situation up when you're talking to them at the counter when they first come in. So we could do a whole video series on that. You know, I mean, it really is, you know, there's a way of doing it. There's a way of talking to people, because as technicians and shop owners and service advisors, it seems like we all have this thought process of, oh, the client doesn't want to pay anything. They went here because they want it for something done for nothing, or they're calling for a price. You know, they just cheapskates. They're just, you know, that's not the case. Overwhelmingly, more often than not, they just don't know what else to ask for. They just don't know where to go, right? And they're just trying to come up with a solution. Be the solution for them. Once you prove to them that you're the solution for their automotive problems, they're going to come to you every time. They're never going here again. So this is a brand new client to us, and I guarantee you he's going to be super happy when we get done with him. So I hope this helps. I hope you like videos like this. If you do, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. How do you deal with people like that? If you're a do-it-yourselfer, or you're somebody who's just watching this video and you found it and you're not into the tech side of it, you know, leave some comments down below on how you would like to be talked to. You know, what do you think about this situation, right? So let us know, though, and we appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.